Why we don't want to do it. It's more than you think it is. Procrastination. We all do it for varying reasons, all of them being completely logical and justified. At the moment, we don't want to do it. We talk ourselves out of it. We choose to forget the task that we know we need to get to. If we ask why, sometimes we can even recall the answer that convinced us to bypass what should have been done, or at the very least, started. Well, I will be sharing practical things you can start right away in order for you to tackle those things you've been putting aside. The first portions of this video is to lead you into the right mindset. Yes, you can skip ahead to the strategies and try to implement them, but not tackling the why you do what you do first will only bring you frustration later. You will end up right back here eventually. Where the mind goes, the man follows. If you Google the phrase, why we procrastinate, there are over 1 million options for you to choose from. Topping the list when I searched on Google were posts by Psychology Today, followed by Lifehack. There is a lot of information out there. As I started to read what was found in the first 2 pages, because really who goes past page 2 most of the time, it pretty much said the same thing, is to avoid some kind of pain. However, I found that this is not always the case, and frankly, not really the case at all. Yes, we procrastinate for varying reasons, from avoiding it because it's painful, dull, ordinary, time-consuming, or we believe it will be, costly, not worth our time, uncomfortable, control issues, not wanting to fail, being lazy. Goodness, so many reasons, but at the end of the day, it's just this. We don't want to do it. Not really. So we simply don't. And that's where the trouble starts. We say to ourselves that yes, I want to do it, but we really don't want to, because if we wanted to, we would do it. We haven't convinced ourselves that what we say we want to do is worth it. We always do what we really want to do until we develop the skill of self-control. And even then, we don't always yield to self-control. After all, we are all a work in progress, and sometimes we just don't want to. Some would argue that if we look at what you say you want to do and what you say you're going to do, and the end result of your words, do your words match your actions? Therein lies the start of your trouble. Some might even call it a lack of integrity of your words. If you don't believe every word you say that somehow it will come to pass, you will have what you want, you will complete what you say, you will convince yourself by default that you don't mean everything you say. So why is this important? Because your brain is listening and paying attention to what you give your attention to, including the cues that pop out of your mouth. Good, bad, or indifferent, it provides you options, the ability to see what is there. And you are the determining factor of what will you do next. The more you think about something, you will do it. You will have it. Those things you are wanting are running its program in your subconscious, and it will always find its way out where you can see or hear it. Your brain is the most sophisticated software program on the planet. It wants to help you see and go after what you want. So it's taking in the data of what you do, say, and listen to in order to help lead you to it. You keep saying you don't have time, so your brain creates more of it by exposing you to the opportunities that will cause you to not have time. If you like to watch television, all of a sudden you want to watch more because there's more interesting things to watch that you hadn't noticed before. Love to hang out with your friends? You start to be out more and you connect with them more on social media. You love to read? Look, that looks amazing. Love to shop? Sales are all of a sudden everywhere. And you go on Pinterest for only a few minutes only to realize, oops, you've been looking at things for 2 hours. Things are happening to you, and you end up wondering why you couldn't finish what you wanted to. Before you know it, all your time has been sucked up by things that seemed important at the time, but in retrospect, you could have put it off until a bit later or not done them at all. Jim Rohn is quoted as saying, either you run the day or the day runs you. I'm not suggesting that you become a workaholic. I love to work myself. I've been working almost nonstop since I was 14. I enjoy work, particularly project work. I love to start something, create the steps to get there, and help make it happen. It's enjoyable for me to see the end turn out better than I thought it would. However, if I don't watch myself, I will crash and burn. I need to, just like you, continually adjust my time to focus on what I need to focus on and then to let things go, to create space for family and friends, or just to be by myself with a good book and some coffee. It's tough, but you need to start being honest with yourself. You've been doing what you want to do, even if you feel things are out of control and you have no choice. Of course, you have a choice. It doesn't feel like that in the moment, but that's why you need to choose ahead of time, outside of your feelings and emotions, that you always have a choice. You can always make the decision of yes, no, later, maybe, more, less, it's time. So take out a piece of paper. Go ahead, I'll wait. Do it now, don't do it later. Are you ready? Just start writing. What do you want? What is it that you really, really want? If you can have it with zero effort, what is it? No one is looking or going to read it, so feel free to put whatever it is you want. No one is judging you. You want to be a size 6? A millionaire? Have a bunch of kids? Rule the universe? This exercise will expose what it is you really want. Now, look at that list. Whether it's one thing or 30, it doesn't matter. Write till it's all out. On the other side of this paper, I want you to write out what you need to make this happen. Just like your wants, there is no resistance. You will have whatever you need to get what you want. If every need will be met, what does that look like? Can you name what that is? You want to be a size 6? You need to eat healthier and exercise. I know, it sounds simple, and you might be thinking, duh, but write it down. Millionaire? Invent something, own a business, make wise investments. What's your gut telling you? Have a bunch of kids? There's adoption, foster care, someone to help you raise them. Rule the universe. What do you need on that one? So let's work backwards. Read your needs out loud and make the following declaration. I have, or am, and then think about what you want, because whatever it is you need. So let me give you an example. I am a size 6 because I eat right and exercise daily. Create one sentence and say it like 10 times. No one is watching you and you might feel silly, but come on, do what I'm telling you to do. I'm the task animal expert here. Just do it. I'm taking you somewhere. So trust the process even if you think at the moment it's a bit goofy. Did you notice how specific I was in that sentence? I didn't use the word regularly because that is vague. What is regularly? To some, it's 3 times a week. To some, it's 5. To some, it's daily. You need to eat right daily, but you might not want to work out daily. Adjust what you wrote down to be specific, but one easy sentence that you can remember. While you are saying it, I want you to see it and feel it. Why? Because you need to be able to see the end result of what you want. See and feel more of what you want versus a task that will get you there. The best-selling book in the world tells us that without a vision, the people perish. You're not getting what you want because you are lacking vision. I'm going to help you create the vision you want so that you no longer have procrastination rule your life. If you are doing what I told you to do, your senses are changing. You're starting to feel like you can do it. You're talking yourself into it because it's what you want. Even if you aren't a feeler, this is important and it works for you too. Why? Because we are designed to move toward our most predominant thoughts. We are thinkers and created to progress, to move forward. That's why movies, books, and music are always popular. You get to lose yourself in the vision of someone else. It becomes alive to you, even if it's just for a few minutes. You can always talk yourself into doing something if you can see the end from the beginning. So what was the trigger? What you want. What was the reward? What happens when you get what you want? What's in the middle? Action. It's the habit loop. Habits are tricky, very tricky. Your brain develops habits because it wants to ramp down and not work as hard. So it looks for patterns and trends of what you're doing, saying, watching, and moving toward. It watches for triggers, your actions, and the output, which is the reward. It forms to create that which it thinks you want, providing more and more of it. So can you change a habit? Not really, because they're created to give you what you wanted. What you can do is change the triggers and the actions to get the end result. Go back to your list. What do you want? To make this exercise even more fruitful, think about why you want it and go back and put the why next to every want. Let's take the example of losing weight. If you want to go out in the morning, you will need to change the trigger, what kicks it off. If you're someone who, once you're physically out of bed, are awake for the most part, you can set an alarm that is at least 10 feet away from you, and this will force you out of bed. Next to the alarm clock are your workout clothes, your gym shoes, and a vitamin-rich protein bar, or some small lunch bag to remind you to get your fuel out of the refrigerator. If you're going to a gym, your gym bag along with your keys and outerwear are there instead. If you're going to work out at home with that DVD that's collecting dust, then the DVD is sitting on top or next to your workout gear. Now move. Do it. You're up already. You've heard that it takes 21 days to develop a habit. That is true and untrue. Depending on the result of what you wanted when the habit was forming, if the reward was strong enough emotionally and physically, it will develop or override a current habit faster. However, if you force yourself to create the new habit, it will override the one that is there over time. What you are not told is that you must continue this for at least 90 days. 21 days might form a habit, but it is 90 days that form a lifestyle. Understand that your brain is the most sophisticated software on the planet, which is why I'm using terminology like override and program. Choice versus instinct is what separates us from other animals. Habits feel like instinct because you just flow in it, but it's not. Instinct is what is leading you to adjust your habit because deep inside you know you are made for more, better, progress. So in the next video, I'm going to reveal to you how to get off the hamster wheel and deal with the habit loop. This is important for long-term suppression of that thief we call procrastination.